Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a very good afternoon and welcome back. Hope you all had a good lunch, but not too sleepy to discuss. So, shall we move to our next agenda item 5B, Partners for Statistics Development in Asia Pacific. Under this discussion item, there is one paper. Report of the activities of the Partners for Statistics Development in Asia Pacific, E/escape/CST4/13. I now have the pleasure to invite Mr. Christophe Lefranc, who is the Regional Advisor on Population and Development at ESCAP, to provide an update of the Partners for Statistics Development in Asia and Pacific.
Is it UNFPA?
Oh, I'm so sorry. He's in UNFPA. Sorry, Christophe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, everybody. So, as a representative of UNFPA, which, along with ADB, is currently co-chairing this Partnership for Statistics Development in Asia Pacific, it is my pleasure to introduce this agenda item on the partnership. The partnership is a regional network of international, regional, sub-regional organizations, as well as bilateral agencies that support statistical development in the region. It was established by this committee at its second session, and it has operated since the end of 2010. Since then, the partnership has provided a platform for discussion on statistics development, and the work of the partnership has ensured collaboration on a variety of issues, including coordination of statistical training in the Asia-Pacific region, as well as support to the regional work on civil registration and vital statistics. For our discussions today, the focus of this agenda item is to discuss the work of the partnership and to provide guidance on the future work of the partnership, and in particular how the partnership can best continue to support the committee in carrying out its regional initiatives. As just mentioned by the chair, to support our discussion on this agenda item, you have received the report of the activities of the Partners for Statistics Development in Asia Pacific. The report describes the work of the partnership during 2013 and 2014. In addition to that, I'd like to mention that a meeting of the partnership was held on Tuesday this week, just before the committee started its work, and it was discussed how to position the partnership in the context of the emerging Sustainable Development Goals, and also how to respond to the call for enhanced effectiveness of coordination efforts. During the Tuesday meeting, several agreements were reached. The partners recognize that there is a shift in considering statistics not only as an enabler for development, but also as a development issue in its own right. This creates an added pressure for data provision at the national level, in parallel with the desire for more data and data available faster. The partners recognize this development as an exciting opportunity which may attract additional funding to the area of statistics. Despite this shift, it was also noted that the partnership strategy that was developed in 2011 remains relevant, and in particular it was recognized that a balance should be found between supporting short-term needs for data and the long-term necessity to build effective statistical systems. Related to this, it was highlighted that predictable and continuous funding is necessary, and that support should not only be area-specific, but also related to cross-cutting issues such as institutional development and governance of national statistical systems. The partners also strongly agreed on the importance of collaboration and coordination, and reiterated that the responsibility for coordination of statistical activities should be mainly carried out at the national level and rest with national statistical offices. It was acknowledged that NSOs and national statisticians should be equipped to coordinate at the country level, and partners expressed their readiness to support them accordingly. So this is basically the highlights of the meeting that we had last Tuesday. Now, the committee is invited to discuss the work of the partnership with a focus on the approach taken by partners to support countries in capacity-building activities. The committee may also wish to provide guidance on the future work of the partnership, in particular how the partnership can best continue to support the committee in carrying out its regional initiatives, bearing in mind in particular the emerging development agenda beyond 2015. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lefranc. Now I would like to open the floor for comments. I have on my list a distinguished delegate from Australia.
Thank you very much. Australia read with interest the report of the activities of the Partners for Statistics Development and thanked them for their efforts to strengthen collaboration. I really enjoyed reading your report around the determinants of what makes successful collaboration as outlined in your report, including the advice of your partners that a platform that allows each partner to identify their role and contribution and the linkage between different programs in different domains of statistics is one of the factors cited as a determinant of successful collaboration. With that in mind, I wondered whether there needed to be a platform within Asia and Pacific that did that allowed partners, the committee and national statistics officers to identify their role and contribution and identify and champion the linkages between the different programs in the different domains of statistics, somewhere where we can go and see who's doing what in what domains of statistics or in what areas, such as the modernisation programs, including which NSOs are contributing where. Thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished delegate from Australia. Now I give the floor to the distinguished delegate from Russian Federation.
Спасибо, господин председатель. Важную роль в укреплении статистического потенциала стран региона играет поддержка межрегиональных, субрегиональных организаций, а также двухсторонние проекты с ESCAP, в рамках которых осуществляется донорская помощь для развития различных направлений статистики. Так, в частности, Российская Федерация последние годы активно работает в этом направлении. Уже реализовано несколько проектов за счет средств добровольного взноса Российской Федерации в ESCAP. В настоящее время ведется подготовка совместного проекта по экономической статистике в регионе на период 2015-2016 год. На реализацию проекта выделено $120 тысяч США. В ходе мероприятий, предшествующих 4-й сессии Комитета ESCAP по статистике, были рассмотрены проекты стран-участников проекта и выработана структура его реализации. Это является подтверждением политики Российской Федерации, направленной на участие в проектах по укреплению статистического потенциала в странах региона ESCAP. При этом мы хотели бы отметить, что в вопросах оказания содействия развитию статистического потенциала стран следует обратить внимание на то, чтобы избегать дублирования поддержки, так как ряд стран-членов ESCAP входят и в другие международные и региональные организации, которые могут реализовывать схожие программы. В частности, подобная работа в настоящее время ведется уже в ЕИК ООН, которые подготовили и направили в конце прошлого года странам-донорам вопросник. Надеемся, что подобная практика получит подтверждение и в регионе ESCAP. Спасибо.
Thank you very much, distinguished delegate from Russian Federation. Now I give the floor to the distinguished delegate from China.
谢谢主席。这个中国呢，非常赞赏亚太合作伙伴关系在过去几年所开展的各项活动以及所取得的成就。中国国家统计局愿意积极参与，并为本地区的伙伴关系的发展呢做出自己的贡献。近年来，中国政府与联合国开展的统计能力开发信托基金项目 以及中国国家统计局与亚太研究所合作开展的培训项目，都是为了支持伙伴关系的发展，为亚太地区国家统计人员能力的提高做出自己呢力所能及的贡献。我们呢会继续努力为亚太伙伴关系的发展做出进一步的贡献。另外呢，对于刚才介绍的合作伙伴关系在上周二召开会议的提出的各种转变和方式呢，我们也表示赞赏。一个建议呢，就是希望伙伴关系和其他的国际统计培训都应该集中到一个很重要的方面，就是统计机构领导人的培训。因为当我们抓住了关键人物的话，就会使得整个统计能力建设和统计系统的重建一通百通。好，谢谢。
Thank you, distinguished delegate from China. Now I give the floor to distinguished delegate from Philippines.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. The Philippines would like to take this opportunity to thank the various development partners that have helped the Philippines achieve many of its initiatives. And I would like to single out specifically the World Bank that has provided us with very important support as we now undergo reorganization. So we have a lot of activities like change management, and this has been supported by the World Bank. We would also like to thank Paris 21 for supporting us on our CRVS initiatives, FAO for our work on supply use tables, for our database, agriculture database for food sustainability. We would also like to thank ILO for help, always inviting us to pilot some of the important initiatives as regards labor force statistics, and ADB recently for also helping us with identity management issues, considering that the Philippines is in charge of the civil registration, as well as we are also the repository of this unified ID system for our e-governance. We also, of course, want to thank CEAP for providing trainings for our staff, and UNSCAP for always helping us in our initiatives. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, distinguished delegate from Philippines. Now I have on the list the organization IOM.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was not sure if this was the right occasion to make a statement, so I would like also the Secretariat's guidance if this should be placed elsewhere in the end. But since there have been some issues raised on migration-related issue in the previous sessions, I thought I'll just make a comment, and it should have been reflected also for the Partnership for Development discussion, but I was not able to make it back to Bangkok in time for that. So if you allow me to make a few comments. Just to say, migration cuts across many of the regional initiatives that has been discussed, from the population to disaster risk reduction, climate change, gender, and some economic statistics, for example, through remittances. There has been already some discussion that has been happening in the global level, which IOM is part of the Global Migration Group, GMG, which are coming up with some of the indicators supportive of the post-2015 discussion. So just to say, we would like to continue to work with the UN partners and the member states to support the development of indicators and the data capacity in Asia Pacific that ranges from remittances to many of the human mobility aspect and displacement. And one initiative that's now ongoing is the Human Mobility Index under the support of the Global Migration Group. And we hope to share this information and work with the member states and UN partners in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished delegate from IOM. Now I have Timor-Leste, so distinguished delegate from Timor-Leste.
Madam Chair, thank you. Timor-Leste welcome the report of the activity of the Partners for Statistic Development in ASEAN. Madam Chair, allow me to share our experience on the partnership in Timor-Leste doing with the other development partners. In Timor-Leste, development partners such as UNFPA, UNICEF, UN Women's, Australian Bureau of Statistics, we are working under the government policy, especially promoting the ownership and an accountability for each dollar spending in Timor-Leste for make sure a value of money for development statistic system in Timor-Leste. I use this opportunity also to thanks for UNFPA for continuous support statistic Timor-Leste on implementation census population since 2004 up to now. I also like to thank you, UNCC, for facilitate the South-South cooperation in building statistic capability and capacity building with in-country training is doing in Timor-Leste. I also like to thank the Australian Bureau of Statistics for supporting Timor-Leste on program capability and capacity buildings on economic indicator training. Last but not least, I thank you to Indonesian Bureau of Statistics for providing formal training through the University or Institution of Statistics in Indonesian. This year, we will get the graduate on through this institution. The 15 students will be fresh graduate and ever from Timor-Leste in area of statistics. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, distinguished delegates from Timor-Leste, and I thank all the delegations that have expressed their views and comments on this item. Now I would like to give Ms. Rike to give a brief summary.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thank you for the interventions. The committee expressed its appreciation to the partnership and for its efforts to coordinate support for statistics development, and noted with particular appreciation the commitment of both international and bilateral partners to continue their existing support as well as expand those activities. The expression of appreciation goes to the following, and we'll make sure that everyone is captured in the minutes if I leave anyone out in this summary. The appreciation is included to the Russian Federation, to China, to Australia, to Indonesia, to the World Bank, to Paris 21, to FAO, to UNFPA, to ILO, to ADB, to IOM, to CEAP, and to ESCAP. The committee stated the importance of continued statistics development in the context of training, including leadership training. It also noted the importance of using the partnership to avoid duplication and coordinate efforts even better. For example, through the establishment of a platform that could function as a come-to place for both national statistical offices, international and bilateral partners to provide overview of who is doing what, both at global, regional and national levels. Thank you.
Thank you, Rike. With that, now we have concluded our deliberation on item 5 of the agenda. And now we move to agenda item 6, which is items for information. This item contains 6 sub-items which will be discussed during the next half an hour. One, improving the quality and availability of crime statistics prepared by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. B, information and communications technology prepared by the United Nations Secretariat. C, global spatial information management prepared by the UN Statistics Division. D, economies based on natural resources prepared by Ulaanbaatar City Group. And E, importance of increased investments in national statistical systems prepared by the Partnership in Statistics for Development in the 21st Century, Paris 21. And F, World Statistics Day 2015, prepared by the United Nations Statistics Division. Delegations do not have to follow this order while making comments. In other words, you are welcome to comment on any of these topics at any time over the next half an hour. Instead of an introduction summary of these items, there will be a short video advertising World Statistics Day. Thank you for that. I think that was a good change. So now I would like to open the floor for your comments on any of the items under agenda item 6. The floor is now open. First on the list is distinguished delegate from Australia.
Thank you very much. I'd like to draw people's attention to the side event on the integration of statistical and spatial information to be held tomorrow morning here at the UNCC, and I'd encourage as many of you as possible to come along. As we heard from DESA on Monday morning from Mr. Stefan Schweinfest, the Director of the United Nations Stats Division, the integration of statistics and geospatial information is an important element of meeting the needs of the post-2015 development agenda. I think it's also an important element of meeting the needs that we have as national stats officers for doing more, but with less, and for doing it faster, and for doing it with relevance and with improved accessibility. I think that statistical geospatial integration is a real modernisation opportunity that we have before us, and it's something practical and concrete that we could be doing, particularly leading up to the 2020 round of population censuses. The UN Stats Commission and the UN Committee of Experts for Global Geospatial Information Management have established an expert group on the integration of statistics and geospatial information. Australia is co-chair of that expert group, and as co-chair, the Australian Bureau of Statistics thanks those countries who attended the first meeting of the expert group. From this region, those countries were Australia, Bangladesh, India, Japan, and the Republic of Korea. I draw your attention to the activities of this expert group and encourage you to get involved if this is an area that you have an interest in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished delegate from Australia. There is no country on the list. Is there any country wishing to speak on this item? Bangladesh. Distinguished delegate from Bangladesh, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Bangladesh is committed to implement the recommendation of the UNCC fourth session and expert group of Statistical Commission, and we have already attended the last session that held in New York. Bangladesh has already established Geographical Information System platform with all GIS application users and producers to reduce data gap and to avoid duplication. We developed a web-enabled digital information system in Bangladesh, Bureau of Statistics, and maintained BD Info in support of UNICEF. We prepared poverty map, under-nutrition map, and small area atlas by integrating statistical information with geospatial. Still, we have many areas to cover, such as economic unit mapping, agricultural unit mapping, and slum area mapping. And hopefully we will cover these areas with the support of our development partner in near future. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished delegate from Bangladesh. Now I give the floor to distinguished delegates from China.
谢谢主席。我想就2015年世界统计日谈一些想法。刚才呢，我们看到了联合国统计司做的一个非常短但是非常吸引人的这个宣传短片，非常好。自从2010年第一届世界统计日在全球成功举办以后呢，我觉得呢，这个世界统计日对于宣传统计理念、宣传统计的职业精神，促进全社会对政府统计工作进一步的认同、支持、配合，应该发挥了重要的作用。所以呢，这个对于联合国统计司决定呢，在2015年举办第2届世界统计日。中国国家统计局呢，也表现出了极大的兴趣。经过这个联合国统计司的同意呢，准备将主会场设在呢中国的陕西省，也就是中国的陕西的西安。我们西安呢是这个中国的一个古都，著名的兵马俑也在那个地方。所以呢，我们这个真诚的欢迎呢，大家这个有机会呢到西安去访问。中国国家统计局呢，将与联合国统计司共同做好活动的筹备工作，进一步的发挥世界统计日的影响力，展示新时期政府统计工作的新的方向和新的发展，进一步呢促进政府统计走进社会、走进民间，让全社会呢共享统计成果。还有值得要说的呢，就是中国国家统计局借助2010年的第1届世界统计日这样一个重要的机会，中国呢从2010年开始，每年9月份都举办一个中国统计开放日，邀请社会各界代表到国家统计局和地方统计局来公开我们统计的生产的全过程，介绍统计改革的进程，分享统计调查的成果，共同呢来探讨统计发展的未来。这样一个中国统计开放日的活动，到目前为止已经连续举办了5届，每年1次。这个活动呢，已经成为中国政府统计公开透明的 重要的一个品牌，受到了社会各界的广泛赞扬。在与社会各界交流沟通，让大众理解统计、支持统计、使用统计等诸多方面呢，都取得了很好的效果。那么我们在这个统计开放日里边呢，选择了这个参加人员呢，是通过全社会公开的征集得到的。报名的人很踊跃，我们会从里面呢随机抽取30-40个人到国家统计局呢参加这个开放日。我们呢还会利用统计开放日来宣传一些统计被社会所接受的地方。比方说，我们在2014年的统计开放日就宣传了中国开展第3次全国经济普查活动的情况。其中呢，我们邀请了一个普查员。这个普查员呢，在普查的过程中是有身孕、怀了小孩还在参加工作，而普查完了以后呢，小孩也顺利的产生了，生了一个呢非常可爱的小男孩。我们把普查员的丈夫、普查员的儿子一块儿请到了国家统计局。在这个活动开放日上呢，马建堂局长呢还和这一家人呢，照了相片儿。媒体呢对这个事情呢进行了非常非常广泛的宣传，而且呢，这个小男孩就起名叫做经普，就是经济普查的简称，非常有意思。所以这样一些活动呢，对于宣传统计确实效果良好。这个2015年呢，中国国家统计局呢将结合第2届世界统计日，我们继续举办第6届中国统计开放日的活动，而且呢会进一步创新活动的组织形式，充分利用新媒体来展示提供统计成果。比方说，我们在前几届的这个统计开放日上推出了中国国家统计数据库，推出了中国国家统计局的微信和这个一系列的掌上数据库产品。我们将继续利用这个活动呢，进一步推进中国统计的公开和透明。为此呢，也谢谢这个联合国统计司和其他国际组织以及其他国家对中国呢这个统计开放日的支持。因为我们当时呢，德国国家统计局的正好也在中国开会，我们还邀请了德国的统计局的同行以及德国驻北京的大使的这个大使馆的工作人员一块儿参加。谢谢你们。
Thank you, distinguished delegates from China. Now we have distinguished delegates from Indonesia.
Thank you, Madam. Only short statement regarding World Statistics Day 2015. World Statistics Day 2015 should celebrate by all countries in the regions using one theme or tagline of the importance of statistics as a lifeblood for decision making. World Statistics Day 2015 is an opportunity or as a great moment for all leaders in the region to pay greater attention to the importance of the role of statistics. In this area, ESCAP should take lead in voicing and in establishing theme, tagline, and also a formal letter to the leaders in the regions of the important role of celebrating World Statistics Day 2015 and the important role of statistics. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, distinguished delegate from Indonesia. Now I call upon distinguished delegate from Desa.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Two short interventions on agenda item 6C and 6F. On GGIM, I just want to reiterate Gemma's kind invitation for tomorrow morning. We will have a lot of time, and I'll give a background a little bit on the GGIM process. And if there's anything you would like to know, let me know today, and I can prepare the information for you for tomorrow. On 6F, World Statistics Day, you saw our little video. I very much insisted that we portray ourselves as friendly statisticians with a big smile. So, and the tagline that we chose and the Statistical Commission actually adopted is better data, better lives. So we will need your help at some point a little bit later down the road, because we still need a General Assembly resolution for World Statistics Day. That should not be a very difficult step, because there was already one resolution 5 years ago, and the Statistical Commission has already adopted the 20th of October. But it would be good to get also an endorsement from the General Assembly, and maybe there will be a moment where I reach out to you, and you could reach out to your foreign affairs contacts to alert them that this resolution is coming up and provide support. Last time, 5 years ago, we got over 50 countries co-sponsoring this resolution, so that was very easy to go through the General Assembly. This will probably happen in about 1 or 2 months. The website for World Statistics Day is established. It is really simply worldstatisticsday.org, and you can go there, and you will also find the link to all the activities of 2010. And the organizing principle is we will provide some central material, and the colleague from Indonesia just said it. We will also write a letter, and there was actually last time a letter by the Secretary General to the countries to announce World Statistics Day, so this will all come. But I would encourage you already to reach out perhaps to your political leaders, and 20th of October is coming soon. And you can look at the over 100 activities in different countries that were celebrated 5 years ago. Countries did very different things. It's sort of a decentralized event. Some countries invited the head of state for a 1-hour discussion on statistics, or a senior minister, or organized a conference, or organized a social event, or organized a quiz, or a competition in essay writing with, I mean, there were lots of excellent ideas. If you want to inspire yourself, I would recommend our website and play around a little bit with what countries did in 2010. And then I'd be really happy to hear that there are lots of interesting activities around the world. And if you do something, let us know. We will all put this together on our World Statistics global website. And we will also provide some communication material there. And one last remark in this context: remember, this will be less than 1 month after the global summit, which will be on the 25th of September. All of our heads of government and state will be in New York, celebrating the 70th anniversary, adopting the new Sustainable Development Goals agenda. So it will be fresh in everybody's mind. It will be not even 1 month after that. So that should provide an excellent opportunity to make a strong case for our statistical work. I'm looking forward to working with everybody on this. If you have any questions, just ask me here today or tomorrow, or send us an email. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Stefan, for that. Now I call upon UNIDO.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to speak on item D, economies based on natural resources. The Ulaanbaatar City Group, which is dealing with this item, was established by Statistics Commission. The importance of this group for the region is that both co-chair of the group, Australian Bureau of Statistics and NSO Mongolia, come from the region, and also the Statistics Committee of ESCAP is actively participating in the group. Last steering committee meeting was hosted by us, UNIDO, in Vienna, and this group is dealing with a number of very important statistics, impact of mining on society, environment, and economy. I can give the name of some of the countries that are actively participating from the region. In addition to Australia and Mongolia are Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Russian Federation, India, and Vietnam. And we are now working on a draft of guidelines which will be most likely to be submitted to the next session of the Statistics Commission. Thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished delegates from UNIDO. So that concludes the requested list of delegations wishing to speak on this item. I thank you all for your interventions. Now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Chowdhury, Director of Statistics Division of ESCAP, to provide a brief summary.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I mean, all the 5 or 6 items that for information we had, and delegations have commented on a number of them, and especially on item C, which is geospatial information and management, and also there are comments on in support of World Statistics Day 2015. And delegations also provided examples of good country practices in this, the way the geospatial informations are now being integrated in the statistical system, and providing maps and for various activities. And also, of course, there is always a need for capacity support activities in this area. And there is also the invitations for the side events tomorrow. So it has been reiterated by the comments that came from the floor. And also in relation to the World Statistics Day, the extensive comments came from a number of delegations. And again, the idea of having an open day within for the National Statistical Office every year, as an example provided by one country, which has been a very successful event to raise awareness of the population in general and in the country. And there is also a suggestion with regard to World Statistics Day for ESCAP to send out a letter from the highest level to the country's leadership to celebrate this World Statistics Day in a very effective manner. In this regard, we also have known that UNSG will also write, as the letter went 5 years ago in 2010. So we also got the information about the website for this dedicated website for World Statistics Day, and all the events, the future and the past events are listed there. And in this regard, there is a request to support the or co-sponsor the resolution that will go to the UNGA in September to support or to adopt the resolution that will go up there. There is also information sharing on the Ulaanbaatar group, which is item D, and again, this is a global city group, but the co-chairs are from this region, and ESCAP role has been appreciated there. and we also have come to know that their draft guidelines will be produced soon to be ready for the next UN Statistical Commissions. I think I have summarized faithfully. If I have missed any point, please do not hesitate to raise.
Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary, for that comprehensive summary, I would say. So, let us now turn to agenda item 7A, reports brought to the attention of the committee. The first part of this agenda item is the report of the Bureau on its activities since the third session of the committee, outlined in the document E/ESCAP/CST4/INF/13/Rev1. Ms. Lisa Bersalis, the chair of the third session of the Committee on Statistics, will introduce this item. Ms. Bersalis, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to briefly summarize for your information some of the activities conducted and decisions reached by the Bureau performing the functions of the committee since its third session. A more detailed summary can, of course, be read in the Bureau's report as referred to by the Chair. The Bureau met twice in person during its tenure to follow up on progress of work of the committee. In addition to these face-to-face meetings, the Bureau met a further 5 times via teleconference and has been in frequent contact out of meetings. The Bureau discussed the preparation and submission of the draft resolutions on the following: the core set of population and social statistics, and implementing the outcome of the high-level meeting on the improvement of civil registration and vital statistics in Asia and the Pacific, subsequently submitted to and endorsed by the Commission in Resolutions 69/15 and 69/16. The Bureau also provided guidance on and endorsed the following terms of reference for: Number 1, the Technical Advisory Group on Population and Social Statistics. Number 2, the Regional Steering Group for Civil Registration and Vital Statistics in Asia and the Pacific. Number 3, Steering Group for the Regional Program on Economic Statistics. Number 4, the Network for the Coordination of Statistical Training in Asia and the Pacific. And number 5, Strategic Advisory Board body for the modernization of statistical production and services in Asia and the Pacific. In preparation for the 4th session of the Committee on Statistics, the Bureau, in collaboration with the Secretariat, agreed to convene an expert group meeting of development experts and statisticians to draw conclusions about the implications for statistics development in the region of the post-2015 development agenda. Their recommendations form the basis of the 19 proposals contained within the Bureau's note considered in item 2 of the agenda yesterday. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this short summary gives useful complement to the report of the Bureau's activities. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Lisa, for that introduction. Now I would like to open the floor for any comments from the delegations. As there is no interventions at this stage, so shall we move on to the next item on the agenda? The next agenda item is on CF, the statistical training for Asia and the Pacific. There's one document under the item E/CST3/INF/14. Report of the Governing Council of Statistical Institute for Asia and the Pacific on its 10th session. May I invite Ms. Van Helderen from the Australian Bureau of Statistics to give a short introduction. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The Governing Council of the Statistics Institute for Asia and Pacific held its 10th session in December 2014 here in Bangkok. The report that's before you summarises the outcomes of that Governing Council meeting and will be brought to the attention of the Commission at its 71st session. The Council commended CEAP for its outstanding accomplishments and results in the reporting period and for progress in achieving its program of work. It appreciated the coverage of topics ranging from basic to advanced, covering priority statistical domains, statistical methodologies, as well as management and leadership. The target clientele from junior statisticians through to managers and heads of agencies, and the modalities of delivery of training, including the expansion of e-learning, the increased use of blended learning, and collaboration with national training institutions in delivering training, as well as building national capacity. The Council also appreciated the results-based monitoring of the work program of CEAP, including the efforts made by CEAP in improving measurements of the impact of its training programs. The Council endorsed the program of work for 2015 that will be put before the Commission. That program of work emphasised the importance of continued capability building for producing and enhancing the quality of basic statistics in national statistics systems, particularly through the CEAP JICA residential training courses and on-demand country training. It highlighted the importance of providing training on support in the best use of ICT in modern statistical systems. It advised CEAP to include in its training activities topics related to, among other things, big data and environmental accounting. It stressed the importance of a program of modernising national statistical systems and a relevance of its focus on innovative and responsive leadership and management of NSOs. In this regard, the Council recommended the CEAP engage members of the Council in organising the Management Seminar. The Council expressed relevance of training on statistical quality management and asked CEAP to cover topics on the quality of administrative data in specific areas of use such as CRVS, trade and prices, and also programs of training around the quality of data from satellite images, mobile phones and scanner data, again in specific areas of use such as demography and prices. And the Council also recognises that the demands for training in a wide range of topics in the region can only effectively be met through collaboration among training providers, and welcome the expressions of strong interest from development partners in working with CEAP on delivering those training, particularly ICT household statistics, analysis of census and household survey data, and new recommendations around labour and employment. The Council expressed support for the proposed work program of the training component of the global strategy on agriculture and rural statistics, including training on communication advocacy skills that we've heard of today. Noting that the Commission had decided to review the conference structure of the Commission, the Council reiterated its prior recommendation that strongly recommended that the current arrangements for reporting to the Commission be retained and that additional layers should not be added. The Committee is invited to share its views on the three issues which are shown here on the slide. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Van Helderen. Now I would like to open the floor for comments. Now first on the list is the distinguished delegate from Mongolia. You have the floor. Mongolia.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Mongolia supports the current reporting arrangements of the Governing Council of CEAP, that the Council reports directly to the Commission as the best modality for both the Committee and the Governing Council, as it was recognized at the third committee session. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished delegate from Mongolia. Now I will give the floor to distinguished delegates from Japan.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. The government of Japan understands that thanks to the financial and the human resource support from countries in the region and the international organizations, SHIAP is becoming the hub of global statistical training as well as the ESCAP region, since it was established in 1970. So, first of all, Japan, as a host government to SHIAP, highly appreciates the various support for SHIAP, including cash and in-kind contribution by the ESCAP member and associate members and international organizations. In order to implement the SHIAP program smoothly, Japan will provide maximum support to SHIAP, and we would like to ask member and associate members and the international organizations for their continued support for SHIAP. Our second point concerns the SHIAP JICA training courses, which are part of the SHIAP training program. As a result of the JICA needs survey for proposed training courses, a 4-month MDG courses and the 6-week inclusive courses will be conducted in this year through the effort of the countries. In this regard, Japan paid respectful tribute to the Secretariat of the ESCAP and the Director of SHIAP for their great efforts in recommending countries to set high priority in the survey. We also express our sincere gratitude to the NSOs that request the agency in charge of technical cooperation in each country to give high priority to SHIAP JICA training courses. This JICA needs survey will be conducted again in August this year. We would like to ask for your support to give high priority to these courses, just as in the last survey. Lastly, the SHIAP program has been implemented, ensuring alignment and collaboration with the ESCAP statistics program, based on the decisions and the recommendations of the Commission and the Committee on the Statistics. The contents of this report include the activity of the network for the coordination of statistical training in Asia and the Pacific, and emphasizing training on agricultural and rural statistics, and retaining the current reporting arrangement of the Governing Council. This report has been discussed and endorsed with the participation of 22 member and associate members. For this reason, Japan strongly requests that the committee will welcome and support this report. The SHIAP is operated only cash contribution from the member and associate member and the collaboration with the international organizations. Therefore, the management of SHIAP should be conducted by the member and associate members as owners of SHIAP. We hope the committee will continue to support SHIAP and its governing council, which reviews and endorses the administration and the financial status of SHIAP. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, distinguished delegate from Japan. Now I give the floor to the distinguished delegate from Australia.
Thank you very much. The Australian Bureau of Statistics thanks the Commission and the Committee for the opportunity to co-chair the Governing Council in conjunction with our colleagues from Japan. We look forward to continuing to play a role in the Governing Council of SIAP. The Australian Bureau of Statistics acknowledges the importance of training to build the capacity of our institutions, our systems and our professional statisticians. We have been working in the region to support capacity building areas in a number of areas, including business registers, environmental accounting and leadership and management skills. We acknowledge the support of development partners, especially the World Bank, in these capacity building areas. The ABS, as you've heard, is very supportive of e-learning and the opportunities that it brings to extend the reach of skills development in our region. Advances in technology are now not only enabling NSOs to modernise our organisations and our statistical production processes, but technology is also enabling NSOs to modernise professional skills development. Yesterday we heard from Ms. Bazales from the Philippines about the importance of youth to the future of our organisations. Well, our youth are technologically very savvy. In fact, all of us today here are also very technologically savvy. We've all got our technology out and we're making good use of it. So let's embrace that technology to build the professional skills and capacity of professionals in our organisations. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, distinguished delegate from Australia. Now I have ILO, distinguished delegate from ILO.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thanks a lot for the presentation on the SIAP, on Statistical Institute for Asia and the Pacific. We wanted to appreciate as ILO the contribution we got from SIAP in terms of the training we do organize, particularly in the recent couple of years, covering the dissemination of the recently approved 19th resolution, the resolution of 19th International Conference of Labour Statisticians. We also wanted to appreciate the contribution and support from member states that they provide to SIAP, mostly but not only Japan, and we appreciate the call. We wanted to support the call for Japan for additional contribution from member states, because we also feel that there is a more need. In the ILO, we have actually many requests to SIAP, but sometimes SIAP is not always able to respond to all our demands. So we would really appreciate additional contribution from member states, and as well as international organizations such as the World Bank, my neighbor. So we really wanted to reiterate that call. We did mention that call as ILO during the last Governing Council, but we wanted to insist again to put that call to the committee for a continued support to SIAP. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Tito. Now that concludes the discussions on this agenda item. And now I would like to give the floor to our Director of SIAP, Ms. Guerrero, to give a short summary.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Before I give the summary from this discussion, I would just like to point out that, in fact, there were several interventions from the floor on earlier topics, including the discussion and the coordination of statistical training, and the discussion on the regional action plan to improve to improve agricultural statistics. Those interventions had also mentioned SIAP and were related to parts of the report which the 10th session chair, Australia, represented by Ms. Van Halderen, had very nicely introduced. The intervention. So, in summary, I believe in terms of the 3 bullet points above, the committee supported the program of work and training strategies of SIAP that were in the report. The committee expressed appreciation for the mode of collaboration in both ways, for SIAP collaborating with member states and statistics development partners, as well as for member states providing contributions to SIAP. In particular, the committee urged member states to provide strong additional resource and continued support to SIAP in order for it to be able to deliver on its program of work. The committee expressed appreciation for the contributions by the host government who has been providing maximum support to SIAP, as well as the contributions by member states and statistics development partners in the work of helping build statistical capacity in the region through SIAP training. The committee the member states were urged to support the SIAP JICA residential courses by way of making sure that the annual training needs survey that is run by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and JICA of the government of Japan will so that member states would express priorities, high priority to the CEAP JICA residential courses in that training needs survey. I think for the most part those were the major items that were raised. And if there's anything else that was missed, I think there would be an opportunity to provide the statements that were made to the Secretariat so that is reflected in the report. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marge. So now we will take this break for coffee. This time we will take a 20-minute break. So thank you for taking the time off from you. So shall we be back before 3:30? So 3:30 we will start. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, may I just, sorry to disturb, because there is one very important point that I had missed. It had to do with the reporting, the conference structure. With regard to the topic, the committee had supported had reiterated support for the previous recommendations regarding the current reporting arrangements between the CEAP Governing Council and the Commission, as well as the substantive assistance that is being provided by the Committee on Statistics to CEAP through these biannual sessions, those arrangements be retained. Thank you very much, and sorry for that.
Thank you very much, Marge, for that. So now we take the break.
Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, a quick announcement from the Secretariat while you're taking your seats for the 8th item on our agenda. Hopefully you will see in front of you a questionnaire which we would like each delegation to complete, assessment of the committee session. Completion of these questionnaires is important and to ensure that we improve the running and performance of future committee sessions, so we would be very, very grateful for your feedback. Could I ask that, if at all possible, the completed questionnaires are returned in the box in the foyer outside conference room 3. Ideally, at the end of the agenda items today, but we would of course be very pleased to receive completed questionnaires tomorrow if necessary. Okay, with that, I will hand over proceedings to Madam Chair.
So we'll come back from coffee. So I will start with the agenda item 8 on consideration of future program focus. Actually, there are no documents under this agenda item, so I would like to invite Mr. Anish Chaudhry to introduce this agenda item.
Good afternoon, everyone. And before I introduce that item, I want to reiterate the announcement that our very able Secretary of the Committee, Mr. Aaron Beck, announced. It is very important that you please kindly fill in the questionnaire that you have in front of you, because it's very important for us going forward how we can improve our activities, our organization of our meetings, and that will only benefit all of us as a community. So please do fill it out, and if you want to return it tomorrow, that's also fine, but please do that. Anyway, the planned program that we are presenting in a very summary form is for the 2016 and 2017 biennium. And in proposing this plan out program, I mean, we have taken into considerations the challenges that we are anticipating from the ongoing discussions about 2015, post-2015 development agenda, sustainable development agenda. And we have heard throughout yesterday and today the importance of various items, especially capacity building in various areas, and also some of the elements of, for example, CRVS, the importance of modernizations, etc. So we have taken all those into consideration, especially coming out of the EGM that we organized in 2014 December. So I'm just quickly going through those items for your comments and support. We have categorized them under 3 headlines, as you can see. One is the regional intergovernmental and expert dialogue, analysis and guidance materials, and technical cooperation. Although we have put an analysis and guidance material in the middle, we believe that all our activities, that is the intergovernmental and expert dialogues and technical cooperations, should be backed by sound analytical work. So the foundation of our activities should be based on good research analysis of every issues that we raise. So in terms of regional, intergovernmental and expert dialogue, what we plan is the Committee on Statistics. The Commission is our main annual event that happens for ESCAP. And within that, we have the Committee on Statistics, CRVS Steering Group, EGM on the Asia Pacific Sustainable Development Report. This is a new item we plan to do to support the monitoring of achievements in the achievements in the development goals that will emerge for the post-2015 era. An EGM on innovations in the production and dissemination of integrated statistics. This is part of modernization exercise. Governing Council of CIAP, Partners Network for Coordination of Statistical Training. So these are the in broad headlines. And the analysis and guidance materials that we intend to produce is a statistical yearbook, a statistical brief, and some of you may have picked a statistical brief we had producing, and will continue to produce monthly statistical briefs. Asia-Pacific Sustainable Development Report, working papers, regional database, quarterly statistical newsletter, web-based knowledge sharing facilities through CIAP. The technical cooperation will concentrate on modernization, CRVA, National Statistical Systems, training courses on means of statistics. For example, we have this national and environmental statistics and so on, as well as statistical frameworks, standards, and basic methodologies. As you know, we are working on disaster-related statistics, and that kind of activity work will continue. So with that brief descriptions of our future plan, I would be grateful for you for your feedback and support.
Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary. So, on this important agenda item, I would like committee's feedback. So I open the floor for discussion and comments. Distinguished delegate from New Zealand.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I, in fact, intervened to ask a question, and it's a question born out of ignorance. I'm interested to understand the process by which these outputs become chosen and who signs them off, in a sense. So I'm not debating that these look like a very sensible and comprehensive set, but I am a little confused, being my first time here, as to the process. Is it this committee that agrees these, or is it the Bureau, or is it something through the ESCAP hierarchy? So, as I say, it's a question of ignorance, and maybe I'm not the only one in the room that doesn't quite understand this, so if that could be clarified, I'd be very grateful.
Maybe I think Dr. Chaudhary can clarify the point. Thank you.
As I say, I mean, it's not the ESCAP hierarchy that decides, but although, I mean, ESCAP hierarchy has to sign off, but it has to sign off because we need to be accountable. And the budgetary implication is there also. But the broad guideline we get from the committee. Then that's why we say that we need your guidance for every agenda item you saw. We had the committee's considerations and the guidance and the decisions. So this is our broad framework within which we decide about those activities. I mean, if I have given you the right answer, I don't know.
Thank you. That was very helpful. That's what I needed to know.
So this is the opportunity for us to contribute and improve the program. So, but I see no country wishing to speak. Okay. Rike, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to add to the elaboration in terms of the approval process of the program of work, the program of work of ESCAP is approved by the Commission. So it is a member state forum that approves the program of work, and the accompanying budget is approved by the General Assembly. Thank you.
I recognize the distinguished delegate from Indonesia. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam. Only a very short comment. In the area of technical cooperation here, I have not seen yet the technical cooperation directed toward enhancing the institutional capacity of the NSS or NSO, but rather still in line with the, let's say, the old paradigm of data collector. The planet output has not mentioned yet the technical cooperation in the area, let's say, enhancing the capacity of communication, enhancing the capacity of institution in a broad sense. The capacity of institution in the technical cooperation here mostly dealing with the how to provide data. NSO as a data collector. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment, Indonesia distinguished delegate. Yeah. Now I give the floor to the distinguished delegate from Samoa.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, would like to appreciate the fact that this summary is more like a summary of our discussion during the week, and with the outputs planned, it is a plan, and Samoa would like to, to support the proposed plan as outlined in the 3 major categories, and I think it's encompassing in Samoa's view, in a sense that it provides every piece of paper that we have agreed on during this week, and it's a plan as we've heard that there are sort of sign-off assignments that ought to be considered. So, but from this forum's perspective, Samoa is in a view that the proposed 3 major categories and the activities under those 3 major categories are comprehensive enough to get all the discussions and all what we've agreed during the week, and we would like to support the 3 major categories and the activities under this proposed outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished delegate from Samoa. Now I call upon the distinguished delegate from New Zealand.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for giving me a second opportunity to speak to this item. As I noted in my first intervention, the set of outputs here looks very cogent and very comprehensive. I would encourage the division to think very carefully in doing this work about some of the proposals that were put forward under Agenda Item 2. There are a number of proposals there around monitoring, around coordination, and various other topics that will be more crystallised once a review of the programs across the various domains has been undertaken. And I think that whatever specific work is done in these, and some of these are already very specific, it all needs to be done with an eye to ensuring that the overall strategy as agreed, well, whatever becomes agreed from Agenda Item 2, which is not entirely clear yet, but whatever comes out of that, forms the basis not just for these individual pieces of work, but for thinking about how the work should be done and the lens that should be taken as each of these pieces is taken forward. And I think, again, for me, the theme of this meeting has been around coordination, and it would be very easy to turn this list into a to-do list that is very tempting to do the individual pieces of work and tick them off and feel that a great effort has been undertaken. But unless they're done with a view to improving coordination across all the programs, I fear that there would be the possibility that you would not optimise the impact that can be had. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished delegate from New Zealand. Now I call upon the distinguished delegate of China.
Yes, thank you, Chairwoman. And I think the proposal is quite comprehensive, as New Zealand mentioned already. And also, one suggestion is that something would be more details is better. For example, the third item, technique cooperation, the modernization, it's too general, I think. Maybe we will need some details. What kind of thing we really mean the modernization, and that will be more helpful. Also, it's easy to get budget improvement and so on and so forth. So, thank you.
Thank you, distinguished delegate from China. Now I give the floor to distinguished delegate from Philippines.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I support the intervention of the distinguished delegates from New Zealand and Indonesia, and I propose a recommendation that these outputs have some introduction which puts these suggested outputs in context, which we discussed in session 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Is there any other country who would like to say something at this point? Okay, I call upon distinguished delegate from India.
Well, thank you, Chair. I find this set of outputs quite of conventional nature. I don't find much difference of the outputs that were planned perhaps in the previous biennium. Probably this needs to be more focused on the new ideas that emerge from this meetings, particularly what others said on the agenda item 2, and keeping in view perhaps the new things that are going to emerge with the Sustainable Development Goals in mind. And more of collaborative kind of activities should be in place, particularly in areas of analysis and guidance material, where such kind of outputs is very banal and now going to help people in really strengthening their capacity. So enhancing the capacity and coordination efforts in countries, much more emphasis should be on collaborative efforts.
Thank you very much for that, distinguished delegate from India. So if there are no other countries wishing to speak, I would like to give back to Dr. Chaudhary.
First of all, thank you everyone for very constructive suggestions and comments, and we'll take all of them on board. I mean, and I re-emphasize this is a plan, as you from Samoa, you said it very clearly, and the process of approval, because we have to say it's a plan, because from here the decision will go to the Commission for endorsement, and only then, you know, it starts the realization part. So it has to be a plan from that point of view. And the important message that I get from this is that few things. One is emphasis on institutional capacity building rather than the data collectors and producers. The second message that I get is collaborative efforts and to be futuristic, and to combine all this, the most important one is to have an overarching strategy guided by whatever the guidance we get from agenda item 2A. Sorry, it was 2? Yeah, it's 2. Yeah. So these are the three takeaway messages that I get from the discussions, and we'll take all this into board and Yeah, but there was also comments on some more details that came from distinguished delegates from China. These are all worked out in our program budget, and details are included. That includes the expenditure items and also the details activities. This is a very summary, as I said, but we are quite happy, for you to share that with you as well. I mean, if you want to.
Thank you, Dr. Chaudhary. So, is there a certain time frame? Just a clarification from my side. Will there be some time frame to agree on this, or get more comments and feedback from the committee members later on? Or?
I mean, yeah, as I said, I mean, these decisions, whatever we take, this agenda item 2 is still an ongoing thing. So that can influence some of these issues. And it will go to the Commission. So once it goes to the Commission and Commission endorses that is the timeline. The Commission is meeting in the third week of May this year.
Thank you.
In fact, there will be an agenda item 9 where the countries can think of resolutions to strengthen part of the activities if you think. So that is another window that you have.
Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary. So we are already on to the next agenda item 9 you just mentioned, on consideration of possible draft resolutions and decisions for submission to the Commission at its 71st session. So for this, again, I would like to hand over to Mr. Chaudhary.
Yeah, at this stage, thank you, Madam Chair. At this stage, you don't have to necessarily propose a resolution right away. I mean, you have still time to consider, but please let us know if you want to sponsor or co-sponsor any resolution, and there is a particular process in the intergovernmental process whereby the draft resolutions are all considered by the ACPR, which is the Advisory Committee of the Permanent Representatives, before it is finalized. So we still have time for that, but it is the reason we have this to start thinking.
Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary. So on this agenda item, if there are any countries wishing to say anything, I will now open the floor. I already see Philippines, so distinguished delegates from Philippines.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Philippines appreciates inclusion of this agenda item on the consideration of draft resolutions for submission to the 71st session of the Commission in May 2015. The Philippines respectfully informs the committee that it will sponsor a draft resolution entitled Asia and Pacific Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Decade 2015 to 2024. It may be recalled that the Philippines sponsored Commission Resolution 69-15 on implementing the outcomes of the high-level meeting on the improvement of civil registration and vital statistics in Asia and the Pacific in May 2013. And the committee may recall that we have already endorsed the proposal that the regional steering group on CRVS will report directly to the Commission. Thus, I am making this resolution. This information to the committee. The proposed draft resolution for the 71st Commission highlights the commitments made at the Ministerial Conference on Civil Registration and Vital Statistics in Asia and the Pacific, which took place in Bangkok from 24 to 28 November 2014, including the declaration of the Asia-Pacific Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Decade 2015 to 2024. The proposed draft resolution will put forward to the 71st session of the Commission the two key outcome documents of the ministerial conference, the ministerial declaration to get everyone in the picture, and the regional action framework on CRVS in the Asia, the Pacific. We are in the process of soliciting support through joint and co-sponsorships. Interested members of the committee may approach the Philippine delegation to discuss sponsorships. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Philippines, for that. And any other country delegation? Okay. So if there is, at this stage, we don't need to do it right now, so we still have time. So I will move on to the next agenda item, which is the last, and that is any other matters. So are there any other matters which any member would like to bring to the attention of the committee? None. So, yeah, so that concludes all the deliberations for today. So we have 1 hour early. So tomorrow afternoon, would Aaron like to say something?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, just a couple of brief announcements before we all leave for the day. Just in case the members have forgotten, there is a side event taking place tomorrow morning, Geospatial Information and the Data Revolution, a quick win for sustainable development in Asia and the Pacific. The event will begin with short presentations from regional experts on the geospatial work being conducted in the region, followed by a panel discussion focusing on how this work can be used to monitor progress of selected SDGs. Hopefully you will have received an invitation to this event, but if not, please see the Secretariat at the entrance of the meeting room for a detailed programme. And we look forward to seeing you here tomorrow, excuse me, at 9 o'clock. In the same conference room.
We can get the draft report at
yeah, I'm going to mention that now. Yeah, okay. And thank you. The second thing I was hoping to mention is that printed copies of the draft report of the meeting are expected to be available at 1 o'clock at the entrance to this conference room. Please remember to pick up your copy and review it before coming to the afternoon session, the adoption of the report, which will begin at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chair.
So thank you very much. So it is adjourned for today.